Tayna, welcome back to the mix.
Hi.
It's really great to hook up with you again.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. It's taken a little time, but that's okay. And to begin, who are your relations? Who's your family?
I'm related to the Kadluks. They're from Resolute Bay, Pond Inlet,
Okay.
Idlouts, and my mother and father are Rick and Mary Gillis. They live in Cambridge Bay. I have two brothers,
Okay.
Carson and Christopher.
Okay.
I had my younger brother just had a new one. He's
Oh,
on
wow.
February 14th. His name is Lucas.
So you're an auntie.
Yeah, well, fourth time over, but
Oh.
still, it's exciting every time.
Yeah, right. A growing family. Right on. Good stuff. Now, musically, it's astonishing to watch your music, but I'm curious to know who you're related to musically. Where does it come from?
That's a really interesting question, because sometimes when I'm singing, I feel a lot like I do when I'm at home on the land, right? And then sometimes, if things are stirring up in me, I feel like I have a lot of people within me that I've known, or that I know now, or that have been through or going through things, or maybe even people before. So it's difficult to say, but like sonically, it's for me to connect with somebody, all they have to be doing is being themselves and like really feeling it and being genuine, then I feel like I'm related to them sonically. But
Okay.
I find typically if I'm working with somebody, they have to be good people. Like if they're jerks, it doesn't even matter how good they are, I won't work with them.
Right.
Because I don't think that makes good music.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
yeah.
sleeping with someone. You
Yeah.
know, you have to make sure you like them first.
That's always a good prerequisite, eh?
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be twinning this interview with your performance at the Vancouver Island Folk Festival. That performance was with Jesse Zubat, but I'm really curious because I know you've got a big tour coming up. You're going around the world? That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm bringing my daughter with me too.
Wow.
Yeah, little Naya, she's going to come to 4 countries, so I'm really excited.
Cool. How old is she?
7.
Neat. Well,
And I
good.
took her out of school. It was a big debate, and I thought, well, she's going to learn a lot during that course of the traveling,
Absolutely.
right? And you know, we tutor her and stuff while we're on the road.
Yeah. I'm curious. You'd mentioned about collaborating and that prerequisite of just good people. What else do you look for in collaborators? What do you look for musically?
I really dislike country, so anything away from there. But right now, I'm feeling this like real urge. Like I'd love to work with metal or like punk. It's going in that direction with Jesse and Jean Martin. Like so, there's a series of groups I work with. Like tonight, I'll be working with Michael Edwards doing an electronica thing. So this is more of like a party, like way more listenable for people outlook, and it's fun too. Like you can have all the intensity of other things, but then still like bring it back to like having a good time, which I find fun.
Right.
But the group I have with Jesse and Jean is a different configuration because we're all alike on a very strange level, like very silly to hang out with day to day. Like we're all really just ridiculous people, but like feel a lot of depth within the music. So with our triad, it's not necessarily me leading. You know, it's like it's all of us kind of just pushing a river, like we're all on a raft or something.
Wow.
You know, so it's a whole different thing, and they're just astounding musicians, and I just keep getting lucky all the time with who I get to work with and where I get to play and what I get to do. It's great.
Right. So on the upcoming tour, it's that triad, and I'm assuming when you're working with just Jesse and when it's just the two of you, it just breaks down to that, right? Because at that, I don't know if you remember that performance, but it seems like you're able to just go, and sometimes you're leading, sometimes you're reacting, but there just seems to be so much freedom on stage.
When you work with people that are free, yeah. They also put me on stage with a whole bunch of diddly dee guys too, and that like there's a whole different feeling. There's like, I don't know if I'm being derogatory, but there's like brown diddly dee. There was this like white diddly dee that like I was having difficulty with, and I don't know if I'm being derogatory, but like I just couldn't. Sometimes I feel they'll put me on stage with people, like sometimes at festivals they'll put me on like the weird stage.
Yeah.
And you know, it'll be. I remember I was in Sweden, and there was this man who was just trying to like be weird and make ugly noises, and it just like was about the noise. Like there's a lot of noise art that's happening right now too, I've seen, and I understand the concept of it, but it still pisses me off. You know, like I don't think anything should be trying to be anything, whether it's beautiful or not. And sometimes they put me with people and they might be great in their genre, but I feel like I'm a triangle trying to fit into a square hole or something, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, or sometimes people will like put me on like the all brown stage, you know, and like people will not know what I'm doing and get uncomfortable, and so it's difficult because I can't be pigeonholed with exactly what I'm interested in, because I really love, you know, these parts of life that are so small. Like, you know, when you're looking at your kid and they kind of just go in their sleep, and there's that little smell of them, and you know that, and the whole house is quiet, and like a little floor might creak across the house, and that just together with them, that really beautiful moment. I like capturing small things like that, and I like ripping it open too.
Yes,
like so,
yes.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure out where to put me, right?
Yeah. And it seems what I'm hearing is one of the keys in terms of those tiny moments to the ripping it open is the freedom and the flow.
Yes, and Jesse has that. Michael has it. Anyone I work with really has it. And it's so great. It's like, you know, you see those kids that they're in airports and their mums have to put them on a leash. It'd be like if you just let them off in the ballpark, like those little plastic balls, and they're like, ah! Like that's kind of what I feel like I get to do musically, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what you're going on a world tour. What are you going to take from your home in the Arctic? What are you going to take from this place that we call Canada? What are you going to take with you when you go?
It's with me all the time, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing different.
Nothing different, no.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I feel really good about, is like having my feet feel like they go straight down into the feeling of being home. Like there's no taking that away. And you know, when I was growing up in that little town, all of us would just like pray, like let me out of this shithole, like, you know, like just praying, right, to get out of there. And now that I've traveled the whole world, and like, you know, it's really just one of the best places ever to be raised, born and raised ever. It's the most unique, like it's the most astounding. Our culture's so beautiful, and people are so real, and like, the weather's so extreme, and it's just crazy and perfect and great. Much better than like this never-ending exhaust and people not caring about each other. And like it's great to see the world, but nothing will ever take my home away from me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to visit your home with you.
Yay!
With the camera, right?
Yeah.
I want to make that trip with you.
And like I'll take you all around Augustus Hills, and like if you went in the summer and in like, you know, the spring, it'd be perfect. You can get the Skidoo, you can get the Northern Lights, you can get everything, and then sequentially you can get, you know, the 24-hour sun, and I can take you to really great places, and you can eat fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about being grounded. You talked about your feet on the ground, being grounded. My sense is that in the times I've seen you perform, that happens on stage for you. In fact, you like to perform with barefoot.
Well, I'm not going to teeter around with heels on and say, whenever I see somebody singing with these big stiletto heels, I go, the energy you're putting into like trying to keep yourself balanced and remember these like dance moves, you could be putting into like getting some balls in your sound, man, you know, like it's you know.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Like into your force.
Yeah. Tanya, it's such a pleasure.
It's always awesome. You're
Thank you.
always awesome.
Thank you. Here in the mix with Tayna Tagaq in Vancouver.